There's definitely no like perfect rhyme
No.
for it. I think the same as with silver. I think that's another one
Really?
where there's no perfect rhyme. But you can do like silver, timber, or like something like that, but no like
kill
perfect.
her. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. That was great, actually. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can hear a song and go
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm going to Weird Al this real quick.
Yeah. Silver, kill her, dig a grave, spill dirt.
Welcome to Talks and Saps, where fun is the best chaser. I'm your host, Jayfoxx, helping you sound intellectually sexy at social gatherings. Grab your fave bevies and get ready to hear some informationally funny 411 on today's show. Psst, psst. Hey, guest. Hey, small talk me. Say something.
Hi. How are you today? It's a nice day outside.
It
How
is
you
nice.
doing?
Yeah, it's great. But did you know that hip hop was born in 1973 somewhere in the Bronx where a birthday celebration was going on? It was a big change in the music industry, and it just started with this, like, it was just like, hey, we're vibing. A whole new thing was born. And it made me think of you because I know you're like a rapper, you're into hip hop. So I was like, all right, I don't want to just sit here and not know what's happening.
Yeah.
Even though, let's be real, I don't know what's happening.
I didn't even know that it was at a birthday party.
It was at a birthday party. And anyway, I like to, before I introduce you guys, I always write you guys a little song, a little jingle, because like I love Weird Al. It's a thing.
Heck yeah.
It's weird. And so here you go, my guy. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. Chris Leon is here.
Right here.
With a microphone.
Oh, yeah.
You ought to know.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey,
Who
that was
are
great.
you? Let the world know.
No, my name is Christopher Leon. That was an amazing introduction. But that was great.
You're like, what did I just walk into today? Goddamn.
I was not expecting that, but that was awesome.
It takes me a second because if I don't practice it, or if like I'm winging it, which guys, I'm winging it a lot.
Heck
Look at
yeah.
the eyeliner. But I think we all are, right? Isn't that kind of a rule of life? You're like, well, make it till I fucking make it.
Shoot, we all are as adults pretending like we know what's going on.
And that's the thing. As a kid, I remember I was talking to this other podcast. I was like, for some reason when I was like 8 or 9, I used to get cold sores from stress. And I'm like, what the fuck was I stressing about at 8 years old?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. And it's always been like, I wish I was 10 or I wish I was 15 when I was 10, right? We've all kind of have that. And then we get here and we're like, no, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. Why are we here?
Yeah. It's like we always think there's a magic number where we'll have everything figured out. But it's not. Yeah.
Crazy. And then you think there's people building like rockets and there's crazy lawyers and scientists, and you're like, do they have it figured out?
Yeah. And presidents who are running the world.
Countries.
And yeah.
And they do not have it together.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you do? What's your jam?
Well, I moved here 5 years ago for music.
Where are you from?
St. Louis is where I was born, and then I was raised in the Midwest in Missouri and Illinois. Very small towns. Very small towns. Like hundreds of people.
Oh man.
Yeah, and but no, I've been here for 5 years. I moved for better opportunities, just more opportunities because I didn't see anything where I was. And then since I've been here, I've been doing the music, and then I started modeling and acting as well.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about today too.
Oh, wow.
Like you don't just do one thing, you do many things.
Yeah.
You use your body for performing arts and giving back, essentially.
Absolutely.
You slut.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I give back, but you
give back because people get to watch your performances.
Well, true.
And if there's people that love your music, which I'm sure there's plenty, then you give them something to listen to.
There are dozens of us.
I love it. I love it. The dozens of you, I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So here are a few things, and I don't know if you know any of these, but these are just really fun, quick facts that I like to dive into. Did you know that LL Cool J's mom used her tax refund money to help jumpstart his career?
No.
Isn't that like so
That's cool.
sweet?
Yeah.
Mom, what are you doing now? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I used to have my show before I was in the studio, before I was adopted by Sent to Destroy, in my mom's living room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the exact same setup, except in the living room.
Yeah, I see. Do you know if it was like, if she helped like get him studio time for a particular song, or if it was like a music video?
I have
or
no
like,
idea.
No, I'd be interested to know.
It just says, according to actor-rapper LL Cool J, a tax refund his mother received decades ago provided a vital jump to his career. Oh, it just helped him fund the first demo tape.
Got you.
That's what happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's really cool.
That's really nice because how much does a demo tape cost?
Oh, geez.
I feel like you're kind of indie though. You've done a lot of the mixing and mastering yourself for your stuff, right?
If you do it all on your own, then it's free. And if you don't, then it's like hundreds.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I had my friend, she came out this month and she's a singer, she has a jazz background, is a beautiful singer. And she got tired of waiting. She got tired of like, hey, I don't have the money for this. Like, I'm going to learn how to mix and master. And she produced her own EP.
That's
and
awesome.
she like does her own marketing. And I'm like, that's really what it's about. Like, we're out here not letting financial, I guess, woes, or not even like less privilege, if you will. You're still creating your art. You're still getting it out there, and you're not allowing circumstances to be like, I can't go forward.
And then at the end of it, it's like you have a new skill, and now you can do that forever. Like you can mix and, produce and all that forever. That's the reason that I started doing it, was because I realized, number one, you're on someone else's dime. You have to like pay someone else, and that does get expensive. But also you're on someone else's time, which is hey, can you switch this and switch this? And then they're like, yeah. And then it's going to take weeks before you like hear anything back,
then because of just the culture of media these days, it's like we need the immediacy. You're almost like insecure, like, is it good? It's good. I can't wait. What if it comes back it's not good? But that's really cool. Apparently another one that was really fun to see was that Jim Carrey wrote a bunch of funny letters to Tupac while he was in jail.
I did hear about this one.
That's fun. I didn't know that Jim was like Pac's favorite actor ever.
Well, I didn't know that was his favorite actor, but I did know about the letters. That was really cool. Yeah. Have you seen there's a clip going up of 50 Cent whenever In the Club came out, and he was performing it, and Jim Carrey comes on stage with him, and he's just turning up with like 50 Cent.
I love it.
It's really cool.
I love it. And so there's something special there. I can feel it. There's a trend, because I know Jim Carrey also did the whole thing with The Weeknd in that last album.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, I see you.
Yeah, for real.
He's like, I'm retired.
Yeah.
Am I retired? That's freaking awesome. Okay, here's another fun one. Diddy directed the video for Player Ball by Outkast. I don't know that one.
I didn't know that.
I don't even know the song, so.
Yeah. Oh, Players Ball? Yeah, it's a really good one.
Really good.
Yeah, but I did not know that about the video. That's cool.
I'm more amazed that Diddy can direct. I didn't know he can direct.
Right? Yeah.
It's a whole different skill set, my guy. Yeah. Dr. Dre has stayed in a studio, and this is actually, I feel like this pertains to you a lot. Dr. Dre has stayed in the studio for 79 hours without sleeping. How long have you worked on something? Like that you were just
without sleeping, definitely not that. I mean, like 10 hours, and then it's like, okay, I have to like leave.
Because you're like delirious, probably.
Well, yeah, and then everything starts to sound the same. You know, yeah, like if you're mixing something for too long, it starts to like mess with your ears. If you're trying to think of a line for too long, everything is just blurry and weird. You know, yeah. So you have to step away. If you was in there for 3 days straight, that's pretty incredible.
How? You know, okay, this is gonna be really fucked up. Okay, are you ready? I had someone call me once. I remember, like, I used to PA for this director, and one day he calls me. And, you know, as a PA trying to break into the industry, like, you got to be on it. You got to be like, yes, I can be there for you at 1 a.m. I know you just called me at 12:30.
Yeah.
And it's insane, right? And I remember one day he calls me, and he goes, hey, Jess, he's like, I need you to, if you can just help find me, like, some Adderall, because I have these crazy projects, and I need to be awake for the next blah, blah, blah hours. And I'm like, right away, sir, I will find this Adderall. What's Adderall?
Yeah.
You know? And that's what I feel like maybe Dr. Dre was on that. I don't know. Like, you gotta those deadlines, you gotta meet them.
Yeah. I'm sure he has a more strict deadline than me. You know? So
Okay. Eminem wore a bulletproof vest to the studio when he worked with Jay-Z on Moment of Clarity. Like,
wow.
Why would someone need to do that? Like, I don't know.
In case they get shot.
You think
I know why they would do it. Yeah, I mean, especially like in the 90s and stuff, and like there was a lot going on in hip hop. And people were like getting shot. I mean, people are getting shot today, but I mean, especially like the Biggie and like Tupac
back
thing.
then?
Yeah, like you got to be careful.
Joe Rogan did an interview with Snoop Dogg, and they were just high the whole time for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But Snoop Dogg covered it really eloquently. He goes like, yeah, back in the day, because we didn't have the immediacy of social media, like you could spread these rumors and kind of turn people against each other. And he was like, no, it's all love, baby. I mean, he was super blown, but he's like, it's all love now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people need to. Well, I mean, depending on where you're from, yeah, you could use a bulletproof vest. I mean, people are still getting shot.
You're like, it doesn't change the fact that people are still getting shot.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like this one's controversial. Not really, but Barack
Perfect.
Obama thinks that Kendrick Lamar would beat Drake in a rap battle.
Would be Drake.
What do you think?
I think if it was like bar for bar, I think that I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is Obama over here starting wars?
I think if it was like a you're
rap
right.
wars.
No, if it was like a versus, if it was hit for hit, I think Drake would win. But if it was like a battle, I think Kendrick would absolutely win.
Right, because I feel like that's firing off differently, right?
Yeah. And if you're making a song hoping that it pops, that's one thing. But if you're making a song to diss this person, that's a
different skill set.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much. Are you guys learning so much today? Okay, here's the last one. Busta Rhymes was the voice of Reptar in the Rugrats.
No way.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Oh, snap. Now I have to like rewatch some
Everyone's
episodes
gonna be
and,
like
listen.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Best rapper turned plastic dinosaur toy.
What can't he do?
Yeah, really.
So tell us about you. Tell us about your journey. And you came out here 5 years ago, you said, and what's like the first thing that happens?
First thing that happens is I realize that West Covina is not a good place for me to stay if I want to be in the city and around everything. Yeah. Before I had moved here, I had never been to California before at all. So I just got the cheapest place.
You just came here.
I just came. I had an opportunity to come, and I was like, I have to do it now because
now or never.
So the cheapest place at the time was in West Covina, and I was living there for about 4 months, and I would drive like every other day up to Hollywood and like this area, and it was like an hour and a half there and back, and
I'm sorry.
And I was like, geez, I like got to figure out something else. So I hit up Craigslist and I got super lucky and found this place in North Hollywood, and then I've been there
now?
ever since. Yeah.
That's such a dope spot.
Yeah,
I only know because of your Insta.
Yeah.
Because we follow each other, and I'm like, he's got a pool.
Yeah.
You know how dry it is out here.
Right. But no, it is very hot in the valley, but there's also always parking, which I never even knew was going to be a thing until I moved here.
That's a luxury. Oh yeah, the parking's non-existent and it's a joke.
Yeah.
And there's like elevator parking now
in
the city.
Exactly.
You're like, how?
Yeah. But no, I'm very like grateful to have like parking. It's a big deal that I never knew would be a big deal until I came here. But so I've been since I've been here, I've literally just been doing shows and trying to make the best music that I can make.
I love that.
Yeah, I've got everything. I've got my own studio set up that I like rent out to other artists and everything, and
nice.
we just work on tracks. And I do that. I create music, and then I started creating like films and like episodes and skits and things like that.
Do you do any improv? I feel like you'd be so good.
I haven't taken any classes. I would love to though.
Yeah.
But I'm very intimidated because it's like it's so much off the top, you know.
But I think that's the best part about it, because I want to take some too. I feel like we all have a sense of humor. It's just how quick can you fire off?
True.
The whole thing with improv classes is that it homes in on your weaknesses and your strengths, and then it tells you like I have a buddy who's really quick. I can never say this word, quick. Witted. Thank you.
Yeah,
like, okay. But his whole thing and his fallbacks are always like, oh, situational stuff. Let me pull out the irony in this.
Okay.
And so basically his teacher's like, that's great. Don't fall back on that, because people can take that the wrong way.
Oh, I see.
So it's not just funny, it can be insulting.
Gotcha. I've definitely said a joke in the wrong setting. And people look at me and I'm like, hey,
sorry.
we're all having a good time here.
You're all gunned.
Yeah.
You're cool, we're cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how does one make friends coming from a whole different place? As an adult?
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. Definitely you go to every event that you can go to and meet everyone you can. And then you just kind of like filter out I think a big culture shock that I had whenever I was here was the amount of like business relationships
You're going to make
that are a thing, you know? Because I'm from like a much smaller town. So like if we're hanging out, it's because like we're friends and like we want to hang out. And then over here, it's more like there are people who are like, I can use you in this situation. So we're friends in this situation. And then if it's not this, we don't have to speak.
I see.
And so I was meeting like a lot of that. And so you just kind of like filter out who are the people who do want to hang out,
Yeah,
and
your
like who you
longevity
do
friends.
actually like, things like that.
Do you want to be my friend?
I'd love to.
Oh my God, yay.
Yeah. I think actually, did I meet you? Was it the Spot? Have you been? Does that sound familiar?
I'm annoying because I'm from here and I don't know anything.
I see. Fair
Because
enough.
I'm from Long Beach.
Okay.
Like the Long Beach area.
Yeah.
And so the only times that I've gone and done anything within, because like right now, for example, it's the first time in my life where I physically have to work in Hollywood. And I'm like, this is whack.
I see. Yeah.
Because you're from here, you're not like, let me go to the Boulevard of the Stars.
Yeah,
Like, you don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like, you're from here. You take it for granted. Which, sorry, we take it for granted. But that's besides the point. With that, and you know how you say you're like, oh, I went to all the different things and like figured it out. Oh, I literally told my boyfriend a week ago or so, I was like, how do people get invited to these pool parties? Where are these invites? I want to go to pool parties. Do you know about pool parties?
I know about a couple, like hotel ones and things like that. I'll let you know about the next one. But yeah,
I just made a pool party friend. But I agree. And I think that is the general consensus that a lot of the people that I meet that are transplants to the city of LA, one, like it just sucks because a lot more people in LA are transplants versus people like me that were born and bred here. And so a lot of people are like, there's just like this fakeness and there's this, everyone wants to use you and it's an LA thing. And it's like, no, it's not a motherfucking LA thing. It's a transplant in LA thing. No offense to you. Because I feel like, and there are people that have lived here long enough that you're no longer a transplant. You're from LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have friends that have been here for 14, 15 years. I'm like, you've been here longer than you've been, wherever you came from.
Yeah.
Like you're a foreigner there, With that being said, that is what I hear a lot. And I'm sorry that's what, you've had to deal with. But you're still, I feel like you're in your infancy of like living here. Like give it 5 more years and you're like, these newcomers.
Oh, really? I already feel like
you feel really
like this
blended.
is home. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, but I mean, it has only been 5 years. But also, it's been 5 years.
Right.
It's
is my cup half full or half empty right now?
Yeah. It seems like a long time, but also it doesn't seem like a long time. But this is the longest I've like lived in one place before. So for me, it's a long time.
When in your lifespan did you realize like I really want to? What would rappers call it? Like make beats? No, that's not right.
Oh, like make music?
Yeah, drop bars. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I'm so embarrassing.
Let's see. Well, okay. So whenever I was a freshman in college, like Facebook was like just becoming like a thing. And so I met this girl over Facebook, and she lived like 2 hours away. I didn't have a car, no way to get to her. So we started like this long distance relationship, and she introduced me to music like Kid Cudi, and things like that. So I would take her favorite Kid Cudi tracks and I would take the instrumental and then I would like remix it and make like.
Were you already doing music? Is that what it was?
No, but this was like my introduction. Like it was like me like writing poems to her pretty much. And then I would like remix her favorite songs and like do my lyrics to like, her. And and like that's literally how I got into music. And then I realized that I really loved it. But my university did not have any kind of like a music program.
Of course.
So
out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
They're like, we don't need the arts.
Yeah, exactly. So I dropped out my second year, much to my parents' chagrin, and
of course.
and then I've been doing this, and it's one of those things where it's like I remember the feeling I had when I first heard myself on a song, and I was like, oh, I made this. This is like amazing, And then like that's like the feeling that I've been chasing forever.
Again.
Yeah.
So every time you make a new track, you're like, I got to feel that again.
Yeah. And I do feel it. And that's why it's still so good, it's just nothing else gives me like that feeling.
What's a memory that you have now that you're out here where you were like, you made something that you're just like blown away, where it was worth the dedication and time that you put into it, where you were like, hey buddies, check this out?
The last album that I dropped, is called We're All Healing. And it was me speaking about my childhood upbringing, my trauma, my relationship with my parents. I lived in a very like racist town back in the day, and so being the only kid in school with like a black dad, like I felt it. So it was an album about that, my relationship with my parents, my last relationship that did not go very well, surviving COVID, losing my therapist, like all of that. It was a very, the album is an experience, and it was an experience to make and to get through. But now that it's done, I'm very like proud of it, and I'm happy that I'm not working on it anymore.
I'm proud of you, and you should be proud of you, because you literally are explaining so many traumatic experiences that people could easily fold under, and you're like, and you were just T-Swifting about it.
Yeah.
You're like, I joke about it all the time, because they're like, what inspired you to start your podcast? So I was like, I was hella depleted emotionally. I was super heartbroken. I love music. I could practice my singing more, because I haven't been doing it, because I've been doing this more. I've been chit-chatting more than I have been practicing my tunes. I remember just being like, I can't listen to music because this affects me too deeply. I can't listen to anything because I am affected too deeply, and I'm emotionally like traumatized.
Yeah.
So I started listening. And so that's why everyone's like, wait, you've been doing this for a year? I'm like, oh yeah. And also I just started listening to podcasts a year ago.
Yeah. Wow.
It was like January 2021.
Yeah.
And I was like listening to like, you know who I was really, really inspired by at the time? It was Sean T. Sean T, the guy who does the T25 and Insanity, he has a podcast called Trust and Believe, and he's just so candid and talks about his therapy sessions, and I'm like, whoa, that's cool. And so it was just kind of cool to like have that self-help happen, and then I started listening to TED Talks and stuff. But that's what it was. So you joke around like, it was your T-Swift moment. It was like your heartbreak, and you're like, I'm gonna make something fucking dope out of this heartbreak, because it's when you're sad, right? A lot of the times, unfortunately, it's when you're sad that you can make some pretty neat stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I think it just brings out some kind of like emotion, and that's when it's real powerful to me. Is like whenever your like emotions are involved.
That's why Coldplay was so good back in the day.
Yeah,
Chris Martin was real sad back then.
Sad boy.
Sad boy energy. Faux show.
Yeah. Made a lot of hits.
A lot of hits, man. That whole Parachutes album, fire. Yeah. So, can you rhyme a word with orange?
Ooh. Eminem can.
Yeah, he can.
I don't think orange, but you could do like orange. I'm literally trying to think of some like
Let's
Eminem
see.
Because he's done it like so many times.
How does he do it, man? It's a consistency.
But it's not. It's like orange suit, orange plute. Like the last word isn't orange, you know, but it's like orange something.
Like when Buster Rhymes goes.
Yeah. But I'm trying to. I can't think of anything yet.
I just think of like Florence. Orange Florence.
Yeah.
Torrance. Lawrence. I don't know.
Maybe oranges.
Oranges.
Oranges, Torrance.
Packages.
Yeah.
Amazon packages.
There's definitely no like perfect rhyme
for
it. I think the same as with silver. I think that's another one where there's no perfect rhyme. But you can do like silver, timber, or like something like that, but no like
kill
perfect.
Her. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. That was great, actually. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I can hear a song and go like, oh, I'm going to Weird Al this real quick.
Yeah. Silver, kill her, dig a grave, spill dirt.
How do you make a, let's say a verse or a chorus? What's your process like?
It always comes from the beat. Usually whenever I'm producing, I'll know I have something whenever I start like humming along to it, like and that's how everything starts.
The humming.
Yeah, it's always the music that like brings the words. It's never the other way around for me. Yeah.
Interesting. It's so funny. I've gone through my phases as a young adult woman.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because when I was in high school, I was like, I want to be a sound engineer. So it's ironic that I'm still doing this in a weird way. Yeah. But I want to be a touring sound engineer. I wanted to be, I don't know, like Muse's touring sound engineer, traveling the world and mixing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I eventually did it for like churches and just smaller scale things like 500 people. Mm-hmm. At some point it got to like 1,500 people. Dang. And I was like, I can't fucking do this.
Yeah.
It was just so hard because like you know how like you've done rehearsals mm-hmm. and it's different when you're actually in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, it's like, in rehearsal, there isn't a bunch of bodies of people here. in the moment there are. So what you heard isn't entirely true originally. And so I remember being like, oh, this is, so anyway. And at some point, I was going to college and they're like, hey, like, you need to learn film. The industry, it's going hybrid. You can't do both. So I got a live sound certificate. I'm like, great. Now I got to learn how to use a camera. And even then I can use it to do this. Yeah. But I'm not anywhere near a cinematographer. Like, they'd walk in here and be like, this is a joke. But and the reason I say it is because at some point in my career, I was driving to Burbank for work and I was living out of Long Beach. And it was like a 5-year span of going to college at the same time and working full time and sitting in the car both ways, like an hour and a half to 2 hours every single. So I get you. I get that. And your car's gone. Bye. Yeah. It won't last more than 5 years because of all the mileage. But I remember sitting in the car for so long and listening to songs. And I don't know if it was like, and they always say, do not learn how to sing in your car. That's awful practice. Really? Yeah. And I learned how to sing in my car from being in traffic for 5 years, listening to songs and singing along and trying to match pitch. And so the way I write these little jingles, or if I write a song, I do it based off of syllables. So I'll hear the beat. So just like you, I can't go, I'm writing a song right now. This is what it sounds like. I go, okay, I got to hear it first. And then I'll go, oh, this sounds like this. This is the vibe the song gives off, and these are the kind of lyrics we could use.
Nice, okay.
And that's just kind of how. But I don't go to school for that. Yeah. I was like always into tech. Yeah. And then I just figured it out in the car every day.
Heck yeah. Well, shoot, that's amazing. Yeah, it's definitely something that you like feel more than you can be like taught.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why when I first started this, I was like, oh, I can't like listen to music because I really feel it. Yeah. Yeah. And I think Angelina Jolie says the same thing at some point. She was like, I have to give myself like chunks of time during the day that I can listen to music because I'll feel it every time. And I'm like, ooh. What do you want people to feel when they listen to your music? What, like, because you said you've gone through, you've done different types of music. And for the most part, what would you consider? It's like not just rap, it's.
Yeah. So I do like a lot of storytelling. Yeah, especially my last album. It was, what am I thinking of? Inward thinking. But, I'm
about to butcher this. Yeah.
Retrospective, introspective, something like that. Whatever that word is. But
that word,
Yeah, it was just me like looking at my life and narrating it, just how I felt, So whenever it comes to, that's a very interesting question that you ask now, because whenever you do listen to my last album, I don't necessarily want you to feel sad, but I know that you will.
Ah, I see. But you're allowed to. It's like your balance, right? There's no, like, it's about to get gross, but like, sometimes I get on my period or whatever, and I'm like, I'll be sad girl right now. Let me listen to Chris Leon's latest album real quick.
For sure. And I will keep you in that mood. I promise you that. It was, it's like an amazingly depressing album. So, definitely sad vibes. But I did drop my newest single, which is called Daydreaming.
Hey!
And it is the complete opposite. It is fun, pool party vibes, put it on when you're having a barbecue. And so
Can I play it for my intro and outro of this show, this episode?
Yeah.
Ow! Okay, I love it.
Yeah, so I definitely want people to feel good with my latest. But whenever you are in a bad mood, and you do need to like
release the beast, if you will.
Release the beast, yeah. And hold yourself accountable. You should definitely give my last album, We're All Healing, a listen.
I love that. Okay, what's musically, like, so you also model, are you going to auditions like crazy? Like, what's that process like?
Yeah, I mean, it's always.
Wait, do you have an agent?
I do. Recently, I just
got one. How does that
one.
work? For us normie schmorzies people, how does all that work?
Look, it's easier than you would think. I literally like 3 months ago, I got my first agent, and that was because I asked friends who were models, like, who are you with? And then I just looked up those agencies, and I was like, oh, I like this one. And then I just sent them an email every week until they replied.
You were so consistent. I love it.
Yeah. And literally that's how. And like most didn't answer. And even the one who did answer, I had to like send like 3 emails before they even like let me through the door. So it's just consistency and research. Yeah, that's all it is. But it's very inconsistent, like as a career.
Got it.
I mean, unless you're just killing it. But yeah, because like auditions will come. One week you'll have 3 auditions. One week you'll have no auditions. One week you'll have 8 auditions. And then just because you audition does not mean you're going to get it at all. Because then there's like a second audition, you know. So it's a little ridiculous and inconsistent. Yeah. So unless you're like making the big bucks, you can't live off of just that. Which is why it's one of the things that I do.
Yeah, you have to wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
How do you deal with so much inconsistency in that field? Meaning that like I suppose, and this is just, you can correct me, sometimes you don't hear back. Sometimes you actually get no's. What is the latter? Like, are you getting inconsistent responses, or are you actually getting no's? Like, how does one deal with that?
They don't even say no to you. They just don't ever
They just
hit
never.
you up.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're like,
So,
you're not even worth my time.
Yeah, it's actually, that part's kind of like weird. Yeah, because you're just like kind of left in the dark. And then it's like whenever the date comes for that shoot, you're like, well, I guess I didn't get it because they're shooting now, you know? So like, yeah, you don't even know. And even if you do get it, they take their time, like letting you know. Yeah, so it's very inconsistent with that. The inconsistency itself just lets you know that like this can't be the only thing
that you do.
Yeah. Like what you were just saying, like wearing multiple hats and things like that. You have to find something that will like actually pay your bills, which is why.
Or is sustainable.
Yeah. Which is why I'm very happy that like I have my own studio set up and I can like have people come over all the time.
And you had to learn that.
Yeah.
You had to teach yourself that.
Yeah. And I'm still teaching myself and learning.
Are you on the, what is it, YouTube University?
Yes, it is the best university out there. And
you're like,
you
I was paying for college? Where?
Yeah,
Why?
You don't have to apply for loans. It's great.
What is it? Like my greedy auntie Sally Mae?
Yeah.
She's always coming for the money.
All the time.
She always wants her money.
Man, I'm so glad I'm not in college. I'm so glad I paid all that shit off.
Oh my gosh. I know so many people are like, right now they're like milking that whole, they've stopped the interest rate on.
Oh, really?
Right now, since the pandemic started, up to today, they've paused interest. So you can like technically pay off your school loan without it building, because you know the interest builds up real quick.
Yeah.
Those are big numbers.
Yeah.
I know so many people, they're like, I'm just going to wait till they drop it. I'm like, this is America.
All right, dude.
They are not going to not let you pay that shit.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like, it's interest free right now. Pay it off.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get it. That's not like the popular opinion. A lot of people are like, no, they should forgive our student loans. Like, I mean,
I guess.
Okay.
But it's the student loans in general are like,
that's a weird area.
it's creepy. Like we just turned 18. We're still literally children.
You're telling me I can't have cigarettes or drinks, but I can have this $50,000 loan.
Exactly. That no matter what you have to pay, you can go bankrupt and it will still, like, you have to pay that back.
Mind baffling, because if you don't have like credit, you can't get a credit card that big.
Yeah.
But you're gonna give me the school loan.
Yeah.
Bitch, I smell entrapment.
Yeah. For real. You won't let me get this $700 a month apartment because I don't like have a big enough income, but I can get this six-figure digit loan. No, that's crazy. But I do feel like I think that in general is ridiculous, but I'm afraid that a lot of people are like placing all their bets on this is going to be forgiven.
Right.
So they're just like going to just let it go.
They're risking it for the biscuit, baby.
I hope you're right, but if you are not right, that is going to haunt you forever.
Yeah.
Like that's going to haunt you forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I paid mine off.
You're like, I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, and you make your own decision. But yeah, I don't know.
You're like, but that's not what we're here for today.
Yeah.
You're like, so what are your goals? What are your aspirations with this? Like, I love that you're essentially producing other people's music now because you have the studio space. You're working with them. What is something, because you've been doing this now for a while. Do you have people that are coming to you that are like new into the scene and baby crawling their way into your studio? Like, what kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, I have many people who, especially whenever I go to like open mics or shows, then like new people, especially people who just got here, they'll come over to work on a track. I always say this may take longer than you think it will. And this is going to be as hard as you think it's going to be, but it really all comes down to like consistency. Like it's always going to be tough.
Yeah.
But you can keep doing this every week and progress, or you can do it only whenever you feel like it every 4 months, and you'll still progress,
right,
but a lot slower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like consistency really, really, really is key.
I'll tell you this, a year ago when I started podcasting,
Yeah.
I couldn't ask you questions. I couldn't hear my voice. I couldn't be cool with cameras. Like, it was bad. And again, it's always been filmed.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's times where I wouldn't have makeup on.
Yeah,
There's times where we would do Sunday mornings after partying.
Yeah.
And I like to have some research. I mean, now it's a little bit more relaxed. Before I'd tell you a whole story. But now I'm like, nah, let's casual learn. And like, did you know that hip hop, you know what I mean? Just like fun shit you're going to hear like at a social gathering. If the conversation is dry, you can remember this episode.
Very true. Very true.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what are like, do you have any metrics that you set for yourself that you're like, I got to do this, or are you just ebbing and flowing and just like existing? Yeah,
I used to, as a kid, I would have like an age, you know, like by this age, I'm going to have this done, you know? And then you realize as you're growing up that it doesn't always work out like that. So I don't have metrics as in like, I need 100,000 hits on this, or by this time I'm going to have like this done. It's more like am I always growing? Like,
I love that.
Like is something getting better?
Yeah.
If I'm not doing music, am I getting more opportunities in acting or modeling? Am I slowly teaching myself the guitar? Am I learning a new Muay Thai move in the gym?
Yes.
You know, like it really does come down to progress. Makes me happy and makes me feel like fulfilled and like I'm like doing something. So
it's comparison to yourself, to your previous self.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how can I get myself better? How can I make myself better? How can I be the best version of myself today?
Absolutely.
And not worry about that tomorrow necessarily, but what can I do about it today? That's amazing. And I feel like that's so hard because not everyone is gifted that way. I feel like that's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not always the easiest for people to find that.
No, I had to teach myself that because especially just because of the social media age that we're in, you're always seeing what everyone else is doing and what they have.
And it's so hard. You're like, put it down. I'm getting bitter.
Yeah. So it's just, so there just came a point in my life where I was like, wait, I'm not this person. I'm me, you know? So it's like, I couldn't have gotten that opportunity because I didn't do the things that they did to put themselves in that. So like, why am I like comparing? Because
apples to oranges.
Yeah, we're so different. And it was like I had to have like a real, just like evaluation of like, why are we even comparing? Like, you know, so like, it is very hard. You just have to teach yourself that like there's success. Someone else getting success doesn't mean that there's less success out there, you know? Yeah. And you just got to learn how to do that. It's tough.
Okay. And I know you mentioned that in your previous album that you had a very bad relationship falling.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling these days about that?
I feel better.
I'm glad.
Like, it's one of those relationships where I feel like I'm a better person because of it. Like I came out, I like learned all of these lessons that I had no idea I was going to learn. And it's like, I will take that with me forever. Relationships fail and they don't work, you know? And then you just got to pick yourself up and then figure out what you did wrong and then go, you know.
Own it, go, okay, I can only try to do better next time.
Exactly.
And go on from there. This podcast is based off of a failed relationship. Yeah. And now I'm in an even better one.
Yeah.
And it was, and it's that whole like, I'm just like living my life, doing my best, you know, being grateful, practicing gratitude, and bam, something happens. Like I'm in one now that's super healthy and just like the best thing ever.
Heck yeah.
But it took a year of just like self-dedication, self-love, like, okay, I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to go do this. Like, I'm going to work on a passion of mine and really like give it everything. And so I think that's really good. And I think you were able to create such healthy fruit from it.
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
So even if it's gonna give us sad girl, sad boy
Yeah,
energy,
yeah,
but
for sure.
you fucking need that. You need that.
Yeah.
Tell me why. The other day we were watching Thor: Love and Thunder, and I'm like, why am I crying?
Oh, really?
This is a Taika
Yeah.
Waititi movie. It's like, oh, maybe I just haven't cried in a while. Maybe
Yeah.
I just need to do it a little. I should not be crying. It's just Christian Bale. Who are like your favorite? Who are your favorite rappers these days? Who are the people that you're seeing in the scene? Like, at these events, you have like. You technically this would be last month, but you're going to an event today. Like, what do you hope to get out of it? What do you look forward to?
So the people that I listen to the most, I love Mac Miller. I love Childish Gambino.
That guy's like incredible.
He's a genius.
He's a genius.
Yeah, he's really good. Those are like my go-tos whenever it comes to music.
Yeah.
I think that I have a friend. His name is Emmett James, and he's been like doing his thing.
Shout out to Emmett.
Yeah, he's been really doing his thing. Him and Jamae Fisher, his girlfriend, they have been killing it. Songs, spoken word, putting on shows, all of that. I get so inspired like watching them. Yeah, he's absolutely killing it. And I met him doing the same thing that I'm going to be doing today, which is going to a show and just watching everyone and being like, ooh, this person's good. Ooh, I really like that. I wonder if we can, ooh, I like their sound. I think that we can,
Collab.
do something. Yeah. Yeah. And that's how I meet most new people. And that's how I stay inspired is
I think
watching new acts.
That's super beautiful but I think if you're like, hey, I like your style. Hey, I like your style. Hey, you want to make something cool and pretty?
Yeah.
Let's make something cool and pretty.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Heck yeah.
And that's like putting good stuff out into the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when you do that, it comes back in better ways.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I hope that last month today,
Yeah.
that the show that you're performing at ends up being like fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
you have like the best day and
I'm
meet
excited
some cool
for it.
people. It'll be fun.
I'm
I mean,
excited for
it was.
Yeah. It was the best day.
It was the best. It was the best day.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want the listeners that are listening right now? Yes, you want them to know anything about you, anything that you want them to take home with them, anything like that?
Yes. If you have not tried therapy, speaking of therapy, you should give it a try.
It's not taboo, you guys.
It's totally in this year. It's totally fetch.
Are you kidding me? The coffee shop or at the coffee shop or the gym, just hearing conversations off on the side somewhere, that are happening. It's like, yeah, so like my therapist, you hear it all the time. It's almost like kind of trendy,
Yeah. No, it's nice.
Therapist.
It's nice. And I was super like against it because there's like a stereotype of like, you have to be crazy to go. Like, do you need like a shrink or something like that? Like, I remember watching like movies growing up and they'd be like, oh, my shrink, and like, I'm crazy, things like that. And so
Gone Girl did no services for anyone.
Gone Girl did not. Go try it, because it's like, you think that it's just someone like judging you and telling you how awful of a person you are, but it's more like you're figuring out why you think the way you do and why you react the way you do, and you're having like a professional like objectively analyze you and like help you through like emotions and situations and things. It's different and it's worth it. You should definitely try it. And that is my little piece
sprinkle.
for y'all. Yeah.
All right, so I like to play this game with my guests. It's a single game of Would You Rather.
Love it.
And I do these questions because I love seeing you guys go like that lady with the math meme.
Yeah.
So if you were ever able to record something with Mac Miller, I know, oh my God. So it's basically, would you rather have that opportunity or have someone just donate? They're like, we see what you're doing, Chris. It's amazing. I want to donate you a Dr. Dre souped up version of a studio. What would you choose?
Oh, wow. I feel like
I know it's so hard.
It's tough because I'm like, a Mac Miller song would be amazing. It would be a dream. And also it would be super popular because
it's Mac Miller.
It's Mac Miller. But how expensive would this studio be? Because that's a lot of money.
They're like, we're just gonna, it's my dying wish, Chris.
Yeah.
I have cancer in my liver.
You know what? I hate to disappoint a dying person. I would take the studio. And then I would invite Mac Miller 6 years ago.
There you go. Yeah, because you're smart, because I never said when I died, said person died and donated you this Dr. Dre status recording studio. Okay, that's fair. I love it. So we're going to be silly and go ahead and watch things that the World Wide Web gives us, which is, the gift that never stops giving. So these are rap fails.
Rap fails.
Oof,
I'm cringing already.
I know, it's so good. I can't wait. Well, you're either going to sip profusely. Gross, I know, whatever. I don't mean it that way. Or you're going to gulp. All right, because you would gulp in a weird situation and everyone's like, ew, you're nasty. Okay. And I'm like, no. Or you would spit out your drink metaphorically, because we're not going to spit drinks in here. Anyway, so let's watch these.
Up on the track, I swear that you'll see the best. Hey yo, my name is Eric Dunn and my pussy is wet. Wait, bro.
I feel like that rhymes so well. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit that profusely. That's unfair. Have you ever done that? Have you ever like made a flow and you're like, oh, no, I'm gonna stop myself right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It happens 90% of the time.
Are there moments where you're like, this is cringe? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're
sure.
like, more than you would think.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear this one.
I'll be getting bitches right and left. Yes, there's 2 lines. So who's mine? Cause bitch, your boyfriend is looking too fine. Fuck, that's gay.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
2 white cups and I got that drink. Could be purple, it could be pink. Give me a dick, let me suck that And my niggas always love it when I'm kissing them slow. Oh, wow. No.
Oh my God. I feel like obviously they're bits, but they're so funny.
That's funny.
It's so funny. Like every time I think of The Cure, my brain goes to that song, show me how you do that trick, right? Immediately, I think The Cure, I can sing this.
Yeah.
Are there any like songs out there that either you've wrote or that, someone else has wrote that you can easily just like, so I can be like, damn, he's spitting.
Oh, I get you. For sure. I mean, yeah, you're talking about just any song that I can hear and like easily slide back into it and perform it and like it just sounds good. Yeah.
Can you do one right now off the top of your head? Ooh,
oh snap!
Spicy meatball.
Yeah.
No pressure or anything.
All right. Who got a dream? Who out here working for free? I heard a couple rumors circulate. Who got a problem with me? I bet if you knew me, you'd love me, but I ain't got the time to see. I'm too busy on my grind. You could have been part of the team. That's the reason that my circle's small. 5 friends like my name Ross. Send shots like an AR, but I'm bulletproof and I thank God. Used to work as a bellhop. Corona hit, now I'm laid off. Unemployment ain't coming in, can't pay rent because the bank called. All right.
I could never. What? Wonderful.
Well, thank you.
That's so good. You're like, there was some truth in there. Stop.
Yeah. We're all healing. Listen to the album.
No, really though. Yeah, please listen to his album, guys. The man put in work, and all you got to do is go. Let me lend you my ear. Super easy. Come on now. Alrighty. I used to count tangents, but I feel like we pretty much stayed on track the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really bad about keeping my show form. There's a few things I keep.
I think I went on a tangent with the student loans.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, we went far with that one. We're like, pull on your collar, uncomfortable conversation. That's okay. We had a good time.
Yeah.
All right, alrighty. What would you like more people to talk and sip about?
I would like people to talk about their feelings more and not yell them, and sip so that you are listening instead of talking when someone else is talking.
Get in here. High five. That's beautiful. Play on words. I love it.
Yeah. Look, we're all taking this political stuff like seriously and everything, but also like chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's too much screaming. Stop screaming so much.
I love that. I feel like that seems to be like the general, everyone's feeling it, but a lot of people are afraid to say it.
Yeah.
And so I love that you guys are saying it on the show. And you're like, hey, I know this not important. We get that. But also this can't be your everyday worry because you are literally going to poison yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. And also the majority of people don't think like that. It's just that the loudest people make it seem like
Like it's
everyone
that.
thinks like that. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like these people giving it's just it's anxiety and projection.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. It was a
thank you
pleasure.
for making time. Have fun at last month's event.
Yes. Yes. Today, a month ago, is going to be the best day of my life. So here we go.
Yeah. Woo! All right, guys. Thank you to Chris Bonifant, Sent to Destroy Studios, for having us here. I'm his weird adopted child. Creative producer Joshua Taylor, who could not be here today, but he is here in spirit. Extra equipment. The reason you can see Chris, look at him. He's so beautiful. Look at him. Look at that smile. The reason you can see him today is because of Ted Lee Jones. Visual graphics that you see on social media on the, Instagram, all of that. Eric Ayala, thank you so much for making it. And thank you for being my guest today, Chris.
Heck yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. What's a handle they can find you at?
Christopher Leon Music.
All right.
Across everywhere.
That's, I love that consistency and branding. Thanks. And no underscores like me.
Yeah, no.
All right, guys. And last but not least, and not by any means, thank you, listeners, for tuning in every single week. Become a patron. Help your girl out. It helps me, build a team out. So I'm not doing everything. Yeah. And guys, make sure to follow the podcast at Toxin Sips and myself at Jayfoxx with 2 X's and 2 underscores. Feel free to write in to toxinsips@gmail.com. Maybe you know a fact that I don't. And maybe you can just be like, hey, that Chris Leon, he's so cute. Give me his number, blah, blah, blah. And
Christopher Leon Music.
Hey, that's where you find him. I'd love to hear from you guys on Gmail. I love learning new info. So message the pod on Insta for merch. We have hats, baby. You got to protect your skull.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. And check out the website for more info at toxinsips.com. I am Jayfoxx, and you are?
Christopher Leon.
And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.